This is the iPhone Air, the slimmest iPhone that Apple has made till now, and we have it in the studio to get you a review of what this phone offers. But the thing is, a lot of controversy has already attracted this smartphone. Is the battery really something that Apple users should be concerned about if they are buying this phone? Is it really strong enough? Does it actually bend? I don't think so. So let's kick off the review of the iPhone Air, and personally I think you definitely should watch this if you're looking to buy this one. Let's kick things off with the design. Now, this is again, like I said, one of the lightest iPhones that Apple has made. 165 grams in the hand, 5.6 millimeters thick, almost 6 credit cards stacked on top of each other. Apple had to go through the pain of 3D printing the USB-C port because I don't know how they managed to do that, but this thin form factor for all of that hardware is really a marvel of engineering. And remember, Apple hasn't really transitioned to the aluminum design, but they have retained the titanium frame for this one, which ensures that the phone is strong. Because multiple YouTubers have tried to bend the phone, it takes a lot of power and force to bend the iPhone. But even if they've been able to bend it, it retains its own natural construct and structure. So I don't think you need to worry about this phone bending or breaking. What you need to be concerned about is the scratches on the display. Because while I was using the phone, I put my keys in the pocket with the phone and the display is picking up scratches, despite the fact that Apple says it is more scratch resistant thanks to Ceramic Shield 2. But yeah, I would strongly recommend that you put a screen guard the moment you buy this phone. Overall, on the back you get Ceramic Shield. Again, this is glass but feels very handy and smooth. It's not slippery, and that is something that you should always keep in mind when you're buying this phone. But in the hand, it just feels so light compared to maybe the Pro Max or even the 16 Pro series. And if you're wanting a very light phone, then this is the one to go for. The camera island at the back has a very pixel-less sort of a design philosophy, which Apple has also been criticized for, that they're trying to copy designs from elsewhere. But hey, I mean, this is just Apple getting back at people who've been trying to copy them all these years. But there is a reason that this camera plateau exists, because all of the hardware has been shifted up. You get more space for the battery, and also the camera hardware has also been accommodated in this section. So understand the engineering. To accommodate more battery, you have to shift a lot of the components to the top, and that's what Apple has done. But despite that, it does not feel top heavy and feels balanced in the hand, which is important. Rest, Apple has made sure that they got all of the buttons in place. It even has a camera control button and also the action button. So this is pro level hardware. It's just that looks a bit flimsy, but it's not. So make sure that you keep that in mind before buying this. The display is around 6.5 inches, which again is in the flagship territory. A lot of people are saying that it would have been great if Apple could have made a more compact version, maybe 6.3 inch. They could have saved up on the battery with the smaller display size, but I feel it's really no problem. Because in terms of content viewing, gaming, I think you will like the bigger display. And also, this is a fancy phone, right? You'll be flaunting it around. Why not have a big display with a slim form factor? It just makes the phone look more sexy. So overall, in terms of design, I think this is one of the most unique designs that you will find in the smartphone market. The only competitor I feel right now in the flagship segment is the S25 Edge. But apart from that, it's sturdy, it's water resistant, and honestly speaking, just feels perfect in the hand. Talking about the processing power inside, now I'm a bit confused here. Apple has added the A19 Pro chipset inside. However, when we ran benchmarks, when we tried to use the phone, it wasn't really pro level performance that we encountered. Because being a pro chipset, it's still not giving us benchmark numbers. Not to say that when we were gaming or using it as a daily driver, it had any stutters or lags, because it is giving pro performance. However, the numbers aren't reflecting. So that could be a concern maybe in the longer run, because remember, if you're buying an iPhone, you might end up using it for maybe 2 to 3 years or beyond that. So the performance, I don't think should dip. It's just that when you don't get to see the numbers matching the Pro chipset on paper, you kind of feel, where has Apple gone wrong? Could be something to do with the new hardware that Apple is using inside, because remember, this one is using the C1X modem for 5G, which is a more power efficient modem. Not only that, it is also using a new one for Bluetooth and wireless connectivity. So maybe the new hardware integration isn't taking or making the most of the processing power, and that's why we are getting these benchmark numbers, but nothing to be concerned about. Like I said, this phone would be considered by people who want it as a daily driver and not a gaming engine. So all of the processing is right here. And perhaps there is a part of me that feels that Apple could have been okay using the A19 chipset in this one, but maybe they just wanted to future-proof this device. The experience of iOS 26 will feel very fluid on this smartphone. Again, the glass-like design is making it look more plush, more premium. However, the experience will change for you if you are transitioning from the older 18 series. So I would suggest take your time, get used to how the ecosystem is brand new. Some of the animations, some of the icons and the placements might not be the ones that you were expecting. So Apple will not change that. It's time for you to just accept what is on offer. The camera on the rear is a single lens 48 megapixel fusion camera, which also gives you the chance of clicking wider pictures, but it's almost the same functionality like you get on the iPhone SE. You will be able to click portrait shots, but it's not really a telephoto lens. It's not meant for that. So this camera is basically meant for your daily Instagram pictures, but not a lot of versatility on offer. We did click a couple of samples, and this is the quality that we got. And I will say, in terms of overall picture quality, dynamic range, color contrast, everything, this is a good camera. And if single lenses are concerned, you won't have a problem, because this is Apple quality that you're getting. So maybe for someone who clicks images for purely social media purposes and doesn't have any other alternative income sources, that they have to shoot video on the iPhone and then maybe put it out on their social media and then earn from it, I'm just like thinking out loud, then and then only the camera on this one makes sense, because this is purely meant for people who do not have a lot of requirements when it comes to the camera. But the good thing is the front camera is still the 18 megapixel that is used on the Pro series. So you'll be able to do a lot of the content from the front camera, and you'll be able to shoot in both landscape and vertical. And that is that one feature, the center stage feature, that Apple has upgraded on the new iPhones, which I just love. Not only that, it's a wide angle camera, so you'll be able to squeeze in more people, and that just changes the game for people who want to create content. So a good camera system, nothing to complain about. It's just that you don't get a lot of versatility, and you will have to just live with that. Now, talking about one of the most concerning departments, which is the battery. I will stick my neck out and say the battery is not as expected on the Air, because I am hardly able to get 6 to 7 hours of screen time on this one. While I want more, it's not able to get me there, because a couple of gaming sessions, maybe Zoom calls and WhatsApp, Instagram, I'm able to maybe get hardly a day's battery life on this one. And if you're okay with that, if you are okay going back home, plugging in the charger and then get the juice, and you won't have a lot of use till maybe 11 or 12 p.m. at night, then the Air makes sense, because if you go beyond that, your phone will just conk off. And that's the reason that Apple has not only understood the problem, but they've given the solution with this MagSafe battery pack, which also has the same battery capacity as the iPhone Air. So if you stick that on, you get maybe 65 to 67% of charge from zero. So I don't think that is really the solution, but it's just that Apple is giving you that option for an extra 12,000 rupees in India. It does make the phone a little bit more bulkier in the hand, but again, in case of emergencies when you're running low of battery, that might just help. Charging speeds are also relatively okay on the Air. You can charge your phone 0 to 100 in 90 minutes or so, which I feel is fast enough. And you get around 50% in 30 minutes, which is also decent. So overall, yes, battery is a concern with the Air, but understand the engineering here. How much can you squeeze in a phone this thin? So the compromise is definitely in this department. If you want a sleek, sexy looking phone, the battery is going to be a compromise. So overall, I would like to conclude and say that the iPhone Air is not meant for all. At a starting price of around 1.2 lakh rupees, this phone is only meant for maybe people who are in lifestyle or maybe in fashion or celebrities who want to flaunt a very slim phone but do not do a lot on their iPhone beyond just the WhatsApps or Instagrams. And even as a daily driver, if you want to buy this phone, remember the battery could be a concern, so always carry a battery pack around, and also reinforce this display because it will pick up scratches. And if you want more options in terms of protection, you also get different covers. Even Apple is giving this transparent cover with MagSafe, so you can try that on. But for me, I would like to use it just like this because this is the charm of the device. So that was the iPhone Air for you, 1.2 lakh rupees in India, the slimmest iPhone ever. If you have any questions around it, do let us know in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to help you out. But again, this phone could change the way that Apple takes technology forward. The battery may improve in the future, and I hope Apple comes up with a solution, especially for the rear camera and the battery. Otherwise, this is a great phone. That's it for this video, and I'll be back with more tech gyan right here on India Today. So stay tuned. This is Cyrus signing off.